Welcome back to Disc and Ball's Golf Channel, where today we're doing a drone fly-through of Memorial Park Disc Golf Course. It's a 9-hole course in Rockport, Texas, and overall pretty wooded, very well-maintained park though. As you can see in this drone fly-through, just soccer fields and lots more grass, but very reminiscent of Ingleside, the live oak red and gold courses. Some tight lines. Almost every hole has some degree of woodedness to it, and but overall, it's a fun course. Definitely check it out if you're in the area, if you happen to be near Rockport. And with that said, let's get it started. Hole number one gives you multiple options right from the beginning. There is a left hyzer line, a right hyzer line, and a shot through the middle. All viable options on this hole. Fine for a lefty or righty. It's only 187 feet, so the basket is right there in front of you from the very start. Not a lot else to be said. Miss the trees and you got yourself a birdie luck. Hole 2 is the longest hole at Memorial Park. It is a par 4, 443 foot hole. And off the start you're challenged with low ceiling the entire time, or the whole beginning of the hole. Most people will tend to throw a left to right shaped shot, whether it's forehand for the right hand or backhand for the left, out to around here, out by these baseball fields. Baseball fields ROB. The containers are not, so you might have a lie up there potentially. From here, people will generally throw another left to right shaped shot, again under the ceiling and up toward the basket. The 3 is gettable but challenging. 4 is reasonable even with a mistake on one of your shots. Hole 3 is the first of the more runnable holes at Memorial Park. It's 198 feet and it just shapes a little left to right. It's very subtle. It's great for a little turnover putter or whatnot. And other than that, not much to it. Very reasonable birdie opportunity here. Hole 4 is the first hole where ground play can play a significant role with your shot. It's only 213 feet, but there's no direct route to the basket. Over the trees is an option if you have a big thumber. I've heard people throw a forehand, like a flex forehand line down this left tunnel. I personally prefer a skip shot down this right side where the drone is flying. That gets you up into the clearing, accessing the basket. Hole 5 is a par 3, 256 foot hole that feels a lot longer than it is just because of the sheer number of trees. I'm taking the drone down this left side, which is the most open, least guarded side, although there are lines through the trees if you want to play that game. It's pretty much low ceiling the entire time. The basket comes over to the right a little if you do take this line. I don't recommend trying to fit it through those trees, but if you get a little lucky with a left to right shot through that gap, you'll have a birdie opportunity. Disc selection is key on number 6. It's a par 3, 215 foot hole with lines just about everywhere as long as you have the right disc for it. Personally, the straightest shot is right at the middle here with a very basic, slightly right to left shape. I also found out that there is a drone no fly zone here. So at this point I basically grabbed my drone and carried it through the holes. There's a little pad, I think because of a hospital or whatnot, across the street. But really this is a pretty straight shot. All you have to do is get through the initial gap for the most part. This little copse of trees on the left here is very capable of screwing up your approach, or putts even. But if you can make it through the initial gap, it should be a par. You shouldn't be making bogey or worse on this hole. Hole 7 is the second par 4 on the course. At 348 feet, it gives you a very reasonable gap to hit. And once you get through that gap, you're going to be left with an upshot or even birdie opportunity if you threw it well enough. It's a very basic. What's the best way to describe it? Basically, it rewards you for a good throw and punishes you for a bad or less than average quality throw. Once you through this middle here, it's a slightly guarded upshot, There's trees here on the right, and these ones coming up here that will block a right-hand hyzer line. So a straight shot's good, or maybe a flick. But overall, as a par four, it's a somewhat easy to more than reasonable par four. Hole 8 is a mostly straight shooting 192-foot par 3. The challenge here comes from the wind. The hole is exposed to the wind. There's OB right on the right side of that fence. Sometimes discs can sneak in after going over the right side of the fence because they can slide up into part of them being in bounds. A headwind can turn your disc over and put it in the street. A tailwind can knock your disc down if you put it too far out over the fence. But really the only thing blocking your approach or your tee shot is this tree here. If you sneak past that, you've potentially got a good birdie opportunity, assuming you don't go too long. Hole 9, I think, is the longest par 3 on the course, if I recall. It's 338 feet, and it gives you a few options. Again, this course is all about options. There's a left side forehand line for the right-hand player. There's a straight shot to get up to a sort of layup area if you can't throw 330 feet straight. There's a hyzer line option. It's a little less open than the other two, but you do have a nice tree behind the basket. Nice in that it frames the basket if you go a little long, but not so nice if you end up getting the tree between you and the basket. And that completes our tour of Memorial Park Disc Golf Course in Rockport, Texas. It is like I said, a beautifully well-maintained little course. Tons of fun. Definitely worth checking out. And thank you all for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the course.